Vicky?
Here.
Me?
Here.
Steve?
Here.
Ben? Here. Steve?
Here.
Councilmember comments?
I'll go ahead and stand up so you can hear me. Welcome. Thank you again for everybody being here. Appreciate that. Lori, thank you for having a recorder for the meeting.
Well, give me a minute to get it to come on. Sorry.
So for those of you who grabbed an agenda, you'll see that there are, well, first of all, I'll say that this meeting was called by several of the trustees for really two purposes: to talk about the dissolution commission and what's going on with that, and to get our budget approved, which is required to be done by the end of this month. So we did put in there 2 opportunities for public comment, which is typical for our meetings, at the beginning of the meeting, at the end of the meeting. So if you have something you want us to consider, you can say at the beginning. If you have something that you want to tell us about, feedback about the meeting, that's at the end. But we do ask that during the body of the meeting, that's actually not an appropriate time for public comment. You are welcome to raise your hand if you think you have something to add that you'd like to, and the president, it's his prerogative to call or not call. So that just maintains order and keeps the meeting moving, so appreciate that. One other thing I was going to mention, I believe it's November 3rd this year, will be elections, and 3 of the trustees on this board, as well as the president, will be up for re-election. Just to make it easy, it's all the male. Myself, Jack, Steve, and Michael are all up for re-election. If anybody's interested in running, I think it would be healthy that we had more people on the ballot than we have open seats. And the paperwork for the petition, I believe, according to what I found online, is due July 21st. Very easy to do. If you have to get 6 signatures. Mrs. Price in the township office can help you with that. She's the point of contact for that. I have requested of both the president as well as the township manager that we get the occupancy of this room posted as required by NFPA 101. I understand sometimes things take time, but whoever the appropriate person, whether that's the building inspector or fire chief, that is a code requirement that is posted, and I still don't see it, but I trust that we'll get that so that we're not packing 100 people in this room and come to find out we're not keeping ourselves safe. With that, thank you again for being here. Appreciate it.
Any other council member comments? Did you say thank you? Said you had something?
Yes. Sorry, I can't keep up. I just wanted to point out that the minutes, like I had said earlier, from our last meeting, were asked to be on the agenda. That was all.
Any other council member comments? Audience comments? Anybody want to go? Go ahead.
Hey, Don Kearney. I live on Plastic Drive, Plastic Man, that area, and there was some, like a line break.
Yeah, or water main break?
Yeah, I was wondering if you could give us a status of that. And then also, maybe when you do your review of the budget and stuff, I was wondering where we stand on getting some of our streets redone. So maybe that'll be answered when we do the budget.
Any other audience comments? Go ahead.
Yeah, Barry Gore, majority. Baroda tap. Just as we're talking about the budget, I think one thing that would be beneficial for everyone is the village council would please explain the standard process and timeline for preparing, reviewing, and adopting the annual village budget, excuse me, including any required public hearings or notices. Additionally, under what circumstances and through what procedures may non-village council members such as residents, other officials, or committee participants be granted access to draft budget information or participate in aspects of the budget development and review process. Thank you.
Any other audience comments? Anybody else? we'll move on.
That's a question.
Go ahead. It's audience comments on all these questions, but I am going to answer that.
Okay, I appreciate it, Mike. Thank you.
All right. Audience comments are done. Approve amended agenda.
So as I stated, we did request this meeting. It was requested by some trustees, gave very specific content of the agenda. I said with the following agenda items. And one of those items was approved minutes of the March 2nd meeting. The reason I asked for that is because the Open Meetings Act says that basically we have to keep minutes. I'm just going to read one sentence. I have to read one sentence. It says, "The public body shall make any corrections in the minutes at the next meeting after the meeting to which the minutes refer." This is the next meeting after the March 2nd meeting. That's why I requested it, is to comply with the Open Meetings Act. Not only was that left off the agenda, one of the trustees asked that it be added, I think it was yesterday, and it's still not there. So I don't know why we're not complying with the Open Meetings Act. But we don't have those minutes in front of us to even look at. I would like to move, I did request things in a specific order also, that the dissolution commission be come before the budget. Because, and then I stated, request the presence of the village attorney if possible for the dissolution commission issues. Anybody, sorry, Jessica Petty, is that correct? As our village attorney, thank you for being here, we greatly appreciate that. We want you to be here for the dissolution discussion, but no disrespect, but I don't want to pay you for our potentially hours-long discussion on the budget.
I hear you.
You may not want to be here. So I would personally request, I'm just one person, so I guess other people can, that we not pay you to be here for that time, for the budget discussion. So with that in mind, I request that we move dissolution commission up as the first item under unfinished business.
I'll second that.
Wait, where do you want it?
The first thing.
Very first thing?
Who's that, Katie that seconded that?
Is there any other amendments? All right, Bob made a motion, supported by Katie, to move the disincorporation. Julie? Move the disincorporation commission with a A. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, unfinished business, disincorporation commission. So we all got a letter from Sarah? Or no, yes, from Jessica, from an email from Sarah. So we have two options. I don't know, do you want to go over any of that?
Yeah, let me just, so you all have a copy of the email that came from the township attorney, correct?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yes, it's that one.
It says best regards, Sarah Seneca?
It came from Sarah Seneca.
Okay,
She is the township attorney. Yeah, I received that today and passed it along to you all. Essentially, as everybody's aware, the township had previously stated that they had some issues that were causing them to not appoint their third member for the commission. Without the appointed members, the commission doesn't exist. You all have to be sworn in. You can't do it without the necessary number of people. The email that I received essentially said that they don't like one of your appointees and they would like you to change that. Of course, the township doesn't tell the village who to appoint, and the village doesn't tell the township who to appoint. So essentially, you have some decisions to make on how to move forward. You can do what they say and remove one of the members and reappoint somebody else to appease the township. You can tell them, no, thank you. We have appointed these 3 people, and we expect you to follow the law and appoint your people, and let's have this incorporation commission set up. At which point, those 6 commission members have to get along in order to do the work that they are required to do by the legislation. So it needs to be 6 people who can get the job done. Because the whole point of the commission is to provide information to the voters. Like, that is the whole point. It's there with the least amount of drama. Because fighting with each other does not help the electorate know what to do. Your third option would be to rescind your resolution to set up this incorporation commission and just let it go to the ballot without a plan. Now, if you do that, which would have been your choice to begin with, you could have done that prior. Certainly, I think you would still have quite a lot of work to do in order to make sure that the voters of your village understood what they were voting for and what it would mean, so that they, again, have the information that they're looking for, which is the point of setting up the commission. So, I mean, those are ways forward for you at this point. Unfortunately, you know, if you tell the village or the township, no, thank you, we're gonna keep our 3 members, we expect you to appoint yours and go forward. The question then is, if they don't, then we're talking, you know, litigation or, you know, things that don't help anybody. Drawing this out, taking longer, fighting with the township over how to set up the commission does not serve the community for anybody. So I'm here because you asked me to come and talk about it. You know, obviously now we've gotten more information just today from the township regarding their position. So it's really up for you all to decide how you want to move forward and what is the best way for the village in that regard.
So I have 2 questions. Do they technically have a quorum? Why can't they meet if they have a quorum? It's not.
There's no quorum. 3 people is not a quorum. It has to be a majority.
Well, it's 5, if they're 2 and not 3.
No, it has to be 3 and 3. The legislation says they shall appoint.
So it's different than, okay.
Okay.
Gotcha.
So there needs to be an equal number of township and village appointees.
And then my second question is, why are we being asked to renominate? Why can't they renominate?
Well, I don't have the answer to that because I don't work for the township.
Okay.
That is a communication that I received from the township.
Okay.
Okay, for you to say, okay, or no, thank you. So I don't have the answer to that.
Can anybody in this room tell me, did the township appoint 3 people and one of them resigned? That's my understanding.
One has resigned.
1 of 3.
They never did 3.
Yes, they did.
Yes, they did. They appointed somebody and then they stepped down.
So they have met their staff, in my view, I'm not turning them. First of all, thank you very much for being here for your explanation, and I appreciate greatly something that we get to just a minute.
You have something to say?
My thought is that they did appoint 3 people, we appointed 3 people. The statute doesn't say that all 3 people have to continue to be present. It says that a quorum is 2
It does.
township and 2.
Because it says a vacancy in the District Corporation Commission is created in the, let's see, if a member of the District Corporation Commission vacates office, the vacancy shall be filled by appointment in the same manner as provided. So there's a vacancy technically, and the township would have to fill that vacancy the same way they fill the others.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So the whole concept of rescinding the vote to form a commission, that's an interesting one. Is there a timeline on that?
I would, to me, if you were going to do that, it would be before the commission exists, okay? Right now, it doesn't.
Right.
You guys haven't been sworn in, and it's required for you all to be sworn in, at the first meeting. So that hasn't happened right now. There's the idea of this commission, and you have voted that that's what you want, but it doesn't exist right now. So I think if you were going to make that decision, it would be now, before the commission exists, for multiple reasons. One, less messy. Two, time. Time is ticking away. And you all there's a lot of work to be done to put together one way or the other, whether it's through your commission or it's your own body and you set up your own committee. Somebody's going to have to put in the work to answer questions for the school.
If the village rescinds the commission, does it revert back
I
to
don't
just
have any
the
comments right now.
village
You have to
vote?
raise your hand.
Yeah, it would go back to the village vote, right? It would go back to 74.18, where it just goes to the village people and it's a 2/3 vote.
It would, yes, the commission would not exist, and it would move forward in the manner that it would have if you did not do the resolution to begin with.
So, I don't know if this is just to add along what you said, Bob, but again, I've said it before, it just feels like, I'm sure that this all came from after the Tuesday meeting. I don't know the timeline, how people know things or whatever, but here we are again at the 11th hour being told that we have to make a decision within 5 minutes or whatever. This is presented to us in like this public setting, and that we have to make a decision. And to me, it kind of feels like we're being held hostage by the township. It's supposed to be directed by the village clerk putting out the information. And when we chose our members and we voted on them, we agreed that we were all going to get along. It says in this letter here, which, I don't know, is it a retype from an email? Because there's like no letter.
I don't know what you have.
I don't know, it says, hello Jessica, I recently spoke.
Right.
I think it's from you. So was it retyped or?
It's not for me.
That was an
No,
email
it's
to her.
Township
Right,
to-
I know. Is it just like retyped or something? Because I've never seen an email just pop out like this. But regardless, in this letter, it says about the attacks also involve the sufficiency of the petition language and the clerk and deputy clerk's review and approval of the petitions, issues which are not in the scope of the statutory duties of the disincorporation commission. We're not a commission yet, so that statement, and correct me if I'm wrong, and I could be wrong, but, and we like to use this word a lot, this statement a lot, but Brad was coming and presenting information as a village resident. He's not a part of the commission.
He made that very clear.
And
Well, it was
so,
on the agenda under Disincorporation Commission. when we said
well,
it.
that's the topic. But it says, we're not even, like, it's just been stated again, we're not even a commission. And so this that says the statutory duties of the Disincorporation Commission, I feel is kind of inaccurate because he did report it as a village resident. This whole mess has been started, and we've been using that, we've done everything as a village resident, even though we might have duties somewhere else. I'm not gonna get into the mishmash of it all, but if it can be good on the township side, it has to be good on the village side also. Because the township doesn't want to play nice. They don't want to talk to us. They don't want to work with us. We've come to the meetings, we've sat there, we said we can get along. Can we talk? Yes. I'm sure everyone's seen the video of the meeting. There's a lot of animosity. I don't think it's coming from us. We were put in this position, we wanted to make sure that we could provide that information to the township and to the village residents. And I think that's only fair because we represent them. I don't represent myself. It's not a game that we're playing. It's people's tax dollars. It's information that people want to know. When I was asked to be on this committee or whatever, can I put all my issues aside? Of course I can push my issues aside. And I can talk to people, I can get along, I can be mad, and I can walk out of here fine. I think that that is called grown adult behavior, and I really believe that it's time for the township to step up, and I have that grown adult behavior. I don't think that it's fair that they come to us and say, we're only gonna play with you if you change who you have, because it's not a game. This is who we chose, this is how we're gonna go forward. Either figure it out or resign yourself. If you can't do it, find somebody else to do it, because we're ready, we've been ready. And it's stupid that we keep going from meeting to meeting and pushing it, and we're not gonna do this because you're mean to me and all of this stuff. So I've had it. My opinion is that we say no. I appreciate this, but it's not our problem. It's their problem. They don't wanna get along, they don't wanna do it. That's not on us. Figure it out within inside yourself if you can get along with the village, and let's move forward. So that's what I say.
Is there a time frame on them picking a third member, or having 3 people?
There's not a specific timeframe,
So it's
but
just-
certainly it's a disservice to continue
So
without.
you can just keep dragging their feet because there's nothing to say they need to pick it.
That's what he said in public meeting. He said, the statute says after appointment, but it doesn't say when. I mean, just kind of like flaunting that he's just not gonna do it, so.
Well, I mean, this last paragraph, that I think
Implying,
is.
sorry, he implied that. If I may real fast, if we say things repeatedly and they're not disputed, they kind of tend to become fact. So we keep hearing about personal attacks. They've been spoken about in this village public meetings, township public meetings, and I'm not on Facebook, but I'm just guessing. So I just want to, I actually, before Julie read it, I underlined this exact same thing that she did reading here about personal attacks. So the personal attacks also involve the sufficiency of the petition language in the clerk and deputy clerk's review and approval of the petitions. These were questions about, do we even have a valid start for this process? And so now that's being framed as a personal attack. So I want everybody to be clear, as you're out in the public, that these personal attacks that you're hearing about is somebody saying, I'm not sure that this petition that was filed is actually legal, a legal foundation to build this entire process on. We should probably make sure that our foundation is valid before we move on to forming a commission, having a vote, and then have somebody challenge the legality of it. So, again, with that, have you been asked, Jessica, to review those concerns?
Yes, and that is a work in progress.
Okay. Nothing to share with us yet?
Not today.
Okay. So with that, I mean, based upon some numbers that I heard from other villages that have attempted this process, I would not be surprised if the entire process costs the village $100,000. At least. So, I think it's grossly irresponsible for us to go too far down this road. I am interested in the whole rescind the vote thing. I'm not sure how many of my peers are. I'm absolutely not willing to vote on that tonight or vote for that tonight. I want to consider it and read the statute and look at exactly, try to understand the implications, and maybe ask you if you have any other thoughts about that as far as any, just to air that out thoroughly before, because I don't want to be a ping pong ball that rescinds this and
And you're not
rescinds it.
required, to your point, you are not required to make a decision.
Okay, good.
Okay? This meeting was set, I got the email this morning, I sent it to you so that we would be able to discuss it here because it's important. And I knew that we were gonna be here, pretending like I didn't get it would be silly.
Right.
So it is not something you have to decide today. When I say you have to worry about time, you do, but it doesn't mean you have to do it today. Okay, you have another meeting coming up, you can always have another special meeting. You can, I mean, you know, obviously you only discuss these things all together in an open meeting, but there's nothing wrong with, like you said, thinking about it, reading the legislation, possibly asking me for more information that can be given to you all, in another meeting about it. That's all okay.
Like you said, to get information, can you explain the process to us of how we can get you information or ask for information?
That would be through the president. So he's the point person through my office.
Why is that?
Because it's discombobulated otherwise, okay? Because if you send me an email asking for something, and Julie sends me an email asking me for something that's different or conflicting, or it can be so many emails, so it needs to be a funnel. I do that with all my communities. And also, it can cause problems with, you know, want to violate the Open Meetings Act in any way through like back and forth type things.
Right.
And it can pierce the attorney-client privilege if it's not handled appropriately either. I can funnel everything through the president, and that saves a lot of variables in that manner.
How would you advise us? We've had multiple issues over the years where information between the village attorney makes it to the president and does not make it to the trustees, and including when we requested that.
I guess that's between you and him.
I think, so the only thing is, there's nothing, I have no authority over the president, so really, I think the answer is, it's between the voters.
I don't have a response to that, because when I'm asked for something and then I reply, that is, I mean,
Yeah, okay. That's one of the challenges we're dealing with.
I've actually sent every email from every trustee right to the attorney.
No, I'm saying that the response, though.
I sent the response back too. Nikki just had asked the other day.
Did you, the communication we received by email, was it you recommended canceling the, is it March 12th commission or dissolution?
I had a meeting with the president, and we did discuss whether or not it was appropriate to have the meeting when there was no commission. I didn't cancel the meeting. I don't think
No, did you recommend that?
I wouldn't say that I made a specific recommendation. I think we had a conversation generally that you can't have a decommission or disincorporation commission meeting if there is no disincorporation commission.
Right. And there is no disincorporation commission until it's sworn in, so that was.
Well, there was no, but there were no appointees from the township, so that was the discussion we had.
I appreciate that. I'll just, the counterpoint, my concern with that is, there was already one meeting that was scheduled, and then the township said that they would not be coming to that because of a schedule conflict. So the village attempted and were unsuccessful. The second meeting, the village scheduled it, and because the township refuses to appoint a third person, effectively, that's why the meeting didn't happen. Unfortunately, officially, the reason the meeting didn't happen is because the village canceled it. I'm not trying to make an us versus them thing, but at the same time, the facts are the facts, and so it should be clear what exactly happened. So, just for anybody who doesn't recall, and probably, I voted against having a disincorporation commission, is that right, disincorporation commission?
Disincorporation.
I voted against it, for a couple different reasons I won't get into. However, once the majority voted to have one, I am 100% behind doing everything we can to hold the disincorporation commission. And I think the village is responsible to call the meeting and let the township not show up.
I didn't make that, I don't make the call.
Okay.
I didn't cancel the meeting. I don't cancel meetings. I have conversations about should you, maybe, yes, no, what's the point, could you? That is not my call.
I appreciate that, and I think you said that, and I'm sorry, I'm facing you and I'm having a discussion with you, I think. I'm airing things so the public knows what happened, so that the president, the clerk, whoever actually made the call to cancel the meeting, knows I think that we need to do everything that we can in our power to stand up to our obligations. So,
I agree, I mean, we picked our three, I think needs to move forward, but
okay.
then we start dragging our feet.
So how do you have a meeting with only 3 people?
If they would have appointed someone, then, yeah, you call the meeting, let them not show up,
Right.
is my viewpoint.
We're abiding by what we're supposed to. If they don't want to, it's on them. I mean, so we have a meeting, we invite them, they don't want to show up, okay, that's noted, they didn't show up. Couldn't you have a quorum? Township didn't show up. We set the next meeting, township doesn't show up. Okay, now you set a precedent of behavior. I don't think that we're the problem. We're not the problem of the behavior. So we either move forward and they can figure out, it's not our problem. We did not ask for this. We did not ask for this committee. Yes, we did. We did ask for this committee, I'm sorry. We did ask for this committee. I asked for it. And we didn't ask for this petition. You know, and now we're supposed to be punished like we're the people in the wrong. They're asking us to dissolve. The petition's asking us to dissolve. And then we're getting kickback or pushback from the township. What the heck? You know what I mean? It makes no sense to me.
Well, the village agreed to go along with it,
Go on with what?
We
the
didn't,
disincorporation. Is that my
We said to
understanding of the
have it.
law? So the petition form comes in and we can make a decision to either not go with it or agree to it.
No, you're not agreeing with it. Your disincorporation commission is not because that you believe you should be disincorporated. It is merely to provide the disincorporation plan that the commission puts together this is what would happen if we did disincorporate. Voters, this is what would happen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's where your taxes would go. Here's what would happen to the real property. Here's what would happen to all of the assets of the village and the township. Like, what consequences would it have to the township? So that plan is not because you think it should happen. It is this is what would happen. Voters, please vote accordingly now that you have this information.
That's what I meant, the plan on how it would take place.
right, so you either send it to vote or you do a commission. That was the 2 choices that we had 3 hours to choose on, if that. And so I just, I don't know.
Did you respond to this letter, or you just sent it all to us?
To Sarah's email?
Yeah.
I did respond to the email.
Okay, and you just, can I ask what you said, or?
Oh, yeah, I basically said that it's my opinion that the township doesn't get to tell the village who they pick, just as the village cannot tell the township who to pick. And that it's also my opinion that the township is required to participate under the legislation. That was my response. And that I would be seeing you this evening, and that I would share her email with you, and we would discuss it at the meeting.
And I know that that's your requirement, is that we funnel everything through Michael, and I understand why you do that. But I think just in this whole issue of husband and wife and the perception could possibly come out, it just makes everything muddy. I don't know if we could have Katie be included on that conversation, as she's the pro tem or something to that effect. But just for Michael's protection also, because it's, that's a lot of information to hold, and it's just a very awkward situation. And I just wondered if you would consider something like that also.
If you guys want to put together some kind of plan like that, it just has to be specific. It cannot
You don't want
be-
everything coming from 10 people.
Correct.
Yeah, good.
Because that doesn't serve you all either. If I'm spending 2 hours replying to everybody's emails, that's a waste of your money. And, and I can't function like that. I don't have time. I have 9 municipalities, so,
And
that's
better.
it needs, there should be some structure. I will say, that email came from Attorney Seneca to me. There was nobody from the township, I on that email. So, you know, like, the township clerk wasn't copied on that email. It was just to me. So it wasn't, you know, it was from attorney to attorney.
Yeah, I mean, you can understand just perception.
I understand what
Yeah,
you're
I
saying.
mean, okay.
I just wanted you to know that there wasn't somebody, a copy on it that you're not aware of, or,
Yeah,
you know.
thank you. And do you know whether or not, was the language of the petition, is it valid?
That's something that he just asked me. I told you I was looking into it, and I was bringing it back to her.
Brad's, that has forwarded to you from Lord and
Yes.
Michael? Okay, I
Yeah.
just wanted to confirm
Yes.
that you got it. Yeah.
I only stated that, and I'm sorry, you were right, you did say that. And because it was stated at the meeting, the township meeting, by the supervisor, that you, Jessica, and Sarah had agreed that the information, the petition was valid. And we were like, what?
We didn't have a conversation about that.
Okay, I'm just telling you what was said. I'm just telling you what he said, so I don't know if, so you can imagine the surprises, we're sitting there going, what? We didn't even know that. So you know, obviously, everything that's going on. It just is a very tenuous situation, obviously. And there's information floating all around. There's information being posted onto websites about facts. Nobody knows what the facts is. Facts with this incorporation commission, and we don't even have one yet. So posting all this stuff on township websites and like that's factual when we haven't even met yet. And I don't know, can they do that? Can you just post information and say this is what we're doing going forward? This is the information for the dissolution committee. These are, I don't know exactly what it says.
I don't control what the township does.
No, are they allowed to though, say what?
Allowed by who?
Right.
Okay, right?
It's just, there's a lot of stuff going on under the guise of the dissolution commission when there's not even one. That's what I'm saying. So, it makes it awkward.
Mr. President, would you be willing to hear a public comment at this time?
I prefer not to.
Okay, thank you.
No, in front of the public comments for when we're doing them for anybody.
We're trying to reel things in. It wasn't too bad when we had 2 audience members.
But we do need to do that for everybody. And
Yeah.
when someone starts
Right.
calling out and asking questions and you responding to it, you're getting a pretty questionable area. I don't know if we need to do that. Okay. I thank you very much for the insight you shared tonight. I had not considered your option number 3. I think that's something that we may want to consider. Obviously, I can't make a motion to do it because I voted against it. It would have to be someone who voted for it who would have to bring that forward. And I hope you do it after we all thoroughly consider the consequences of that.
Yeah, thank you for coming.
It's helpful.
Thank you.
Anything else?
No, thank you. I really appreciate you taking time out of your evening to be here and,
Okay.
Thanks for coming, I guess.
Just, well, I'm sure I'll be talking to one of you.
I don't know, I'm not gonna do it. You can do it. If they don't like it, then they can reappoint who they like for their meeting. That's how, so I'm okay with it. Do we need a motion? No, just leave it alone.
not doing anything.
Yeah. We have the discussion and it's still in their hands.
All right, approving the 2026-2027 budget, general appropriations.
Let's start with on the General Appropriations Act, I brought this up and it was brought before us at the regular monthly meeting. Under section 3, it says the village of Baroda shall cause to be levied and collected the general property tax on all commercial property within the township. And I asked if that should stay village instead, it still says township. So is it correct? Is it supposed to say township? I said, please explain if it is.
Everybody else is village.
Where does it say that in?
Section 3.
Within the township, right there.
The attorney reviewed this, right? She's still here?
You send her out the door.
Oh, she's right here.
Sure, yeah, have her come back.
She's running.
Well,
You didn't move fast enough.
I just said that.
So sorry, can someone show that to Jessica?
What am I looking at?
We have the General Appropriations Act. Under Section 3, millage levy, the village of Baroda shall cause to be levied and collected the general property tax on all real property, personal property within the township upon the current tax roll and allocated millage. So should that be village?
Honestly, I cannot give you legal advice based on something you just handed me right now without, like, literally looking up the act and being able to answer that question. Like, I have to look at it.
Wasn't this the one we emailed you?
No. Oh, yeah, but that's not what I was asked about, though.
Oh.
I wasn't asked to review this.
Oh,
I
I
was
assumed you read
asked,
the whole thing.
no. Well, I was just asked about one particular section, which was section 6. Yes. If you want me to review that section and get back to you, I will, but I can't do it right this minute.
Does it look to anybody in this, on this board, or including the treasurer and clerk, anybody, that township is the appropriate word there, not village?
I think it should be village. I don't want to open up a can of worms. But, being new back to the state of Michigan, you know, where I used to work before, we never had to do something. I was talking to the township clerk about it, because we're getting up to do this. So I looked at it and I changed all the numbers and the budget and the employees and all that stuff. And that just, you know, I didn't even pay attention to the wording up there. I just assumed it was a generic thing. And so my feeling is, it should say village, but it says township simply because I got the copy from them to go ahead and update for the village.
Thank you.
I would say change it to village.
I agree. Because if you read on, you see where they're talking about the village not to exceed 9.5. That has to do with the village. It has nothing to do with township.
Yeah, very clearly, the village of Baroda shall cause to be levied and collected the general property tax on all real property and personal property within the township.
Sure, let's collect taxes.
Yeah,
So,
that makes
okay.
sense.
I'll make a motion to change, in section 3, second line, the word township to village in the general appropriation act.
I second that.
Motion made by Bob, supported by Steve to change the word from township to village in section 3 of the General Appropriations Act. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Now the hard part.
I have a question. So, is this the resolution for all of this that we just looked at, or is it just for what section 3 we talked about? Because I have a question about salaries and everything like that. All others, committees and boards. I'm just stating this. but I am on the CGA board and I don't get paid.
They're a separate board.
Right, but as a village representative, that's what I was asking. Because it's fine that I'm not, but I'm,
So I will tell you that
It's
some
missing.
years ago, whenever the personnel committee would meet to do employee reviews, for example, that was considered a meeting, and the personnel committee members who attended that meeting got meeting pay. And then we were advised that should not happen. So I don't know, yeah, Katie, I heard you ask this about it at the March 2nd meeting.
I don't think it should
know
be
where
on
that
there.
would apply.
Because none
Where
of them
would
do.
that apply, just as a question?
Because none of the others get, yeah, none of the other commissions get pay, it's just planning. But that's through township, it's not through us. I think it's only,
I don't mind volunteering.
Can you think of any scenario, Michael, where we would pay a committee member?
I'm trying to think, other than when we used to pay board committees.
no, planning is the only one that we pay. We don't.
We were elected.
Yeah, planning members. That's why I asked last time, so I didn't, it's misleading, I don't know why that would even be on there.
I'll make a motion to strike it out.
Second. So we're striking all other committees / boards $50 per meeting.
Yep. Bob supported it, right?
Yes.
All right, I'll make a motion to remove all other committees and boards and the $50 per meeting from the general appropriations act. Supported by Bob, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
For our employees, I guess, the DPW and the treasurer and the clerk is. Like, is this now what we have to go by? Like, if they work full-time, part-time, and then DPW worker? I guess I'm kind of confused by this too, because they don't all get the same amount, and I know this is all different, but is this what we're okaying that they all get?
It should be the current thing.
Are we supposed to list them all out like this on here?
Isn't that what the attorney,
I didn't hear what she said.
to pay for everybody? Isn't that what you asked?
That's what I asked her, and she said it needs to be done.
But this doesn't prevent us from getting raises in the year.
Say, or if we
If
hire
we,
somebody
if we
else.
do a raise, we're supposed to amend the General Appropriations Act when we do the raise.
Okay.
We haven't done that every time though. Have we been doing it?
Nope. So I was reading today.
Very good.
The person's trying to say that's. Leave it out for that one.
I think it's 23, I think 23. Yeah. I think she started at 22 and then bumped it up to 23.
Are we ready to get into the numbers?
Okay, something before you start. I just want to make clear what you're going over and hopefully going to approve tonight. That's spending plan, sort of like a roadmap, where you want the village to go. I know you had concerns at the last meeting, you said you would not vote for capital expenditures because if the village is dissolved, you don't want to sell the people with that kind of expenditure. You're not voting to approve that expenditure tonight. Like I said, it's a roadmap where you want the village to go, and you know, you're gonna have detours and things along the way, and hopefully, at least in my opinion, you're not gonna have a permanent roadblock. But you're going to, like I said, just because it's in the budget and you voted for this budget, doesn't mean you're approving that individual expenditure. All the capital expenditures have to be voted on by the council as they occur, just like all the expenditures are voted on by the council as they occur when you approve the monthly check registers, payroll, and things like that. So you're not, just remember, you're not approving, telling Mike, go out and spend all this money right now. It's just a plan. So I just.
Thank you, I appreciate that. With that, it should also reflect what our plan is.
Yes, that's right. And I read a little bit, you know, background, and in the village, the budget is presented by the village president. Okay, hopefully, and I don't want to open up any can of worms or get involved, but hopefully that includes council members' wishes now. In the future, as long as I'm here, I hope to get more involved in the budget and that he presents to you. And I will be seeking all of your inputs into, you know, what we want, and then I'll review that with the village president, and he has to make the final determination whether he wants to include it in the budget presented to you.
We have a finance committee that includes Julie, right? And have you had input into this, or just an opportunity to review, like reading? Okay, so we're still in that. So I'll also say real fast here, we have been negligent, this council has been negligent in one of our duties that were called out in state law, and we're supposed to outline a timeline with which this budget is developed. And there's a recommended timeline in the General Law Village Act that's very easy to adjust to our dates. We did that a year or two ago, didn't do it this year, so we're supposed to have a draft budget by, we said we want to see a draft budget by this date, we want to have this timeline. And we didn't do that this year, I forgot about it. So next year we need to remember to make that happen so that we have these milestones.
You will have those milestones back.
So that's on us as well. Does anybody have any significant concerns with the line items on this roadmap plan? Recognizing, as Mark said, that that's what it is. It's not a. I'll only throw out on page one. I only made it to the bottom of page one before I wondered how we got to a trustee salary line item of $7,500. Our current amount is $6,000, $1,000 for each of the 6 trustees. And I'm just curious where did that $7,500 come from? Page number 1 is the second to the last line on that page. Anybody tell me where that number came from, why we didn't fall over? Because that number was raised a year or 3 ago.
It was more than that, because before I came on.
For trustee salary?
Yeah.
It was about 4,
Hasn't it for?
maybe 3.5, 4, but yeah.
Okay,
That was factoring in the $75 per meeting if we bumped it up.
but the meeting is a different line item. Okay. On the other hand, president's salary has remained unchanged for, I don't know how much longer than I've been involved in this village. Jack, I think you're the longest serving board member. You've never seen the president give a raise, have you?
No,
So I have,
but if my memory serves me right, I think we asked Mike if we wanted to raise it, he said he didn't. Is that correct, Mike?
Yep.
so I think the position deserves it. And, well, so that is something I would advocate for. I will not advocate to give the trustees another raise. However, the president is overdue. And the position does require a lot of time, effort, and expertise, so I will advocate for that. So
I
I'm
agree.
willing to leave these numbers as they are. Basically, in my head, we'll shuffle money from one line to the other. I'm just.
That's what the purpose of
I'm perplexed by some of
budget
these numbers.
amendments are for down the road.
Absolutely, yep. Okay, can you understand me just asking a question, where did that number come from? Okay. Anybody have any issues with this proposed budget?
I just had a question for, on page 2. It says like, president meeting is 900, clerk meeting is 900, and then you got the treasurer meeting is 900, or I'm sorry, 1,000. I mean, it's not really an issue, but I just thought maybe they should all just be uniform and just be 1,000, because they're all one person anyway. But that was just not a huge deal.
Which one are you talking?
For the president meeting pay, it's at 900, and the clerk meeting pay is at 900, and then the treasurer meeting pay, meeting per diem is 1,000. So I just thought they went to uniform.
And go to the meeting.
I have a couple other, I don't know if we're going page by page or just questions in general. I have a couple other things marked. So on page, so I have mine from last time that I marked up. Yeah, so on page 4, it just says, like the 12th line down, $6,000, I think, or was it $8,000? It just says salary and wages. Usually it says salary and wages for what, and this one doesn't have any.
That's your salaries and wages for, okay, the way that works, you have one full-time and what is it, 2 part-time public works employees? You can only guess what they're gonna do. And last year at this time, you would have guessed wrong with the winter we had this year because they spent so much more time plowing snow or whatever. So they have a timesheet that they fill out, and they mark down the hours they spent with water, what they spent with sewer, streets, major streets, local streets, the park, it's general operations, and so it's split between the different funds. Now, in theory, if you take all the wages for all funds like that should add up to the total of what they're gonna get paid. This is just an estimated breakdown, of how much time they're gonna spend on the streets. And hopefully, it's not gonna snow like this next winter, so they're not gonna be spending as much time plowing snow, so.
So this is for the streets then, is what you're saying?
Pardon?
Is this for the streets?
Would they break it down? So how do you get the information for how things are broken down?
From their time sheets that are throwing
Right,
snow out.
and do they give that to you, or do they give that to Gloria?
Gloria, because she does payroll.
So this is for the streets, is that what I'm understanding?
Like that piece that he does in there?
Yeah.
If I had to guess, I would guess park, because there's a bunch of park stuff on here, and we have a different account number, a different fund for major street fund, starts on page 5, we have, is it local streets? Yes, local streets on page 6.
Okay.
So if I had to guess, parks, maybe,
What?
like mowing parks, would that be salaries and wages for mowing parks?
Yeah. Also,
So does parks not have its own fund, I
no,
don't believe?
Parks is the general fund.
So that's probably what that one is. I think
And it would also be, time spent at the shop, cleaning out, working on some equipment, things like that. Anything that they do that cannot be out, your street funds, your major and local street funds, it's guided by, I believe it's Act 51 of, what you spend on streets, and the majority of the money, we spend on streets is from the state. Your water collected, sewer, from your sewer bills or whatever like that. So they do something that can't be paid out of one of those funds, it reverts back to the general fund.
Perfect, thank you. Does that answer your question, Katie?
Yeah.
So the 101 is the general fund, so that's paid out of the general fund. So things like park would be general fund, or like mowing grass at the shop.
I have something more, do you want me to keep going, or does anybody else have any questions? Okay. For the planning commission secretary, that's at 600, I thought that was a little high, so it's only $20 a meeting. And then right under that was the planning commission meeting for DM was 5,000, I thought that was low. Currently, and we had a meeting last night, I'll talk about it at our next meeting, but currently with 9 members. I mean, as you guys know, I don't know. That just isn't enough to cover it, all 9 members come.
So, I might have to work those out. Once again, this is on me, and this is my responsibility. It's all our responsibility, so I'm gonna request that for next year's budget, we look again closely at what the municipal budget accounting action is, because it says the recommended budget shall include at least the following. One of those items is estimated expenditures for the current fiscal year. So we're actually supposed to be estimating, one of these columns should be what's estimated to be spent by the end of March.
That's sort of what your amended budget line is. That's why we do the budget amendments.
Sort of.
We tried to project out to the end of the year what we were gonna spend, because you don't want to spend over your budget amount.
But it doesn't say that, there's other lines in here, I'm trying to find it, it was, I can't write it, highlighted, circled, exactly what it was. There's things that you told me that you were expecting to get in the month of March, but they're not reflected in here, like income. And so it would be helpful to us to do exactly what the statute says, and that is estimate like these income items so that we know what is estimated to be coming in. I wish I could find it.
Well, because
Sorry.
it says calculations as of 2/28.
All right, so that leaves us in line.
Or it shows on here to get, though, where there's one line or like one column that says activity through 2/28 of the original budget.
No, the activity through 228 has an actual expenditure.
Right. So is that what you're asking for?
What I'm asking for is instead of.
I understand, you're asking for a projection.
Right, yeah.
Like your column say projected through
So
331.
after
Okay.
we did amend those budget amounts last month at the monthly meeting, or?
So you're asking for the projection through
The
331?
projection through 331 is what?
That makes
Can you
sense.
do me a favor?
Sorry?
Can you somehow get me a copy of whatever that is?
I would love to, yes. And
So
again, I'm not giving anybody a hard time about this. It's my responsibility to have asked for this long before now.
Well, it's not going to be my responsibility to do it,
Yeah,
so.
we'll get it right next year.
Yeah, so. That's why I mean, if you give me a copy of that, tell me where I can find it.
Yep.
So next year, like I said, it's going to be followed to the letter.
Perfect. Thank you.
The only question I had was the $10,000 for the CGA. Mike, I think you said it's in there. I just don't remember where it was. Under, if it was. Do you remember where it was?
While you're looking, can I ask a quick question? It's just a curiosity question. On the very front page, under income and donations, we have a negative $206. How do we have a negative $206 donation?
That's something I have to look at. I found,
Okay.
no, let me make a comment on that.
These are the things I tried to call, just.
I've been going through now and trying to reconcile a lot of accounts. I found some other errors too, and I've started on the balance sheet accounts. That's obviously just a misposting. Somebody made an entry wrong, and it shouldn't be like that. So, but it takes a while to go through every single line item in practice, but that's what I'm starting to do now. And I've got all the intercompany or interfund accounts balanced now, all the banks and things like that, and it's just a process of going through there. And I'll discover a lot more of those as I get started on the lead sheets and work papers for the audit. But then, when March 31st comes around, that doesn't mean the accounting stops for this year. I could be making entries all the way up to the time that the auditors come in, which is going to do two things. It's going to hopefully make your audit expenses next year a lot cheaper because they're going to find it easier to do. And it's also going to acquaint me with more of how things run around here. So,
Thank you.
but what you gotta understand, when you operate over a time period without certain personnel or whatever like that, mistakes are gonna happen because things weren't reviewed, and that's the other thing I want to start off, beginning with the new fiscal year. Is, I'm gonna be spending my time reviewing financial statements, catching them as they happen, instead of waiting till the end of the year.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah. We found it under dues.
Page
3. So I just want to make sure that that is highlighted, or that was on it. Okay.
With the 30,000 on page 4 under capital, art capital outlay, where's that?
Tennis court.
on, or was it 15,000?
For major streets or what?
Yeah, major streets, what is this capital outlay? If that's right with all the major street stuff.
That was, I believe, the chip and seal on Church Street.
Your local streets.
Church Street's a major street.
Oh, major, church, not church. Can we chip the seal that again?
It needs it.
Okay, I didn't know if you can do it.
We're
twice.
working with the county.
You can do it twice on the same road?
Oh, yeah, you can do it numerous times.
Okay, all right, thank you. I always consider that like a Band-Aid.
I mean, unless you want to pay for asphalt and curb and gutter,
Right.
which would be ideal, but that's a lot of money.
Concrete roof.
So it's a 60, so now I'm on page 10 for water, O&M wages, is that enough? 60,500?
I'm just looking at the trend for the last couple of years. That's good.
What is our zoning and ordinance for, like, do we have a budget for, like, where, because I didn't find him in here. Mission be in here? Like, is there a line item specifically for him, or is it just all in general?
I thought it's not too.
It's in here somewhere.
If you just go to the very end and just.
Enforcement officer.
There it is, page 3, enforcement officer, you're close to the bottom, right above the mileage.
Thank you. So shouldn't that be more than the Appropriations Act of,
So history says we don't pay them because we don't
Yeah.
arrest them or anything.
but enforcement officer's only 1,000 in here. So if that's the budget.
Well, this is ordinance and zoning. He's also the zoning reg.
So we just want to go together on this for the appropriation.
This doesn't end the review discussion, but I will make a motion to approve the budget that's been presented. I will support it. Do you need this approved? Do you want this approved?
This doesn't need to be approved, all you have to approve is the General Appropriations Act. This is just the core document to this.
Okay. I will withdraw my motion. So we should see the, I didn't prepare the General Appropriations Act numbers
That's what we have.
to fit, make sure they align with.
Okay, you're gonna have to change on the percentage expenditures for the general fund from 431,298 to 436,38.
Why is that?
Because we made budget changes when I was reviewing it with Mike, and I guess they didn't get passed over to Gloria to revise this.
Are they reflected on the paper we have in front of us? Because I'm looking at page 4 and I see 431,298.
No, I'm talking about,
No, they weren't put on here.
Yeah.
We have to change this.
you're looking at a wrong copy then. Either that or maybe I'm looking at the wrong copy.
Yes, I am. because I- Doesn't want to have much on. Okay, 436,38.
And that would mean your net income is 26,541.
Saving net income, what?
26,541. And your fund balance, you can't take off of this sheet right here. Let me do a quick calculation. I told you this year it was being done through BS&A. And I found one flaw in how BS&A does their budgeting. When to get their final fund balance, what they did was, because we just finished this up a day or so ago, and I didn't get a chance to go in and change this. But they take the activity through 228 and add the net income to get their new fund balance, and what they should be taking it off of your amended budget. Now, next year, we'll take it off of the projected through, so. So, your general fund budget will, or fund balance for this will be
So you made a change that reduced the expenditures by,
wasn't very much, it was like,
less than $1,000.
yeah.
$660.
Okay, so your ending fund balance, the fund would be 359,274.
For which one?
General fund,
What is it again? 359 what?
274.
Can you tell me how you got that? Should it be the same as the change in the,
Beginning fund balance plus your net of revenues over expenditures. And your beginning fund balance is projected to be 32,733, because that's what the amended budget is. That's obviously a number that nobody can come up with an exact number until you have them closing the books. So that would be your projection.
I'm trying to understand why it's not the number given here offset by the same $660, the others changed. So is there a second?
It does change. Well, according to Excel, it changes to that. I put it in formula. If you add your beginning fund balance of 332,733,
Okay.
and you add the 26,541, you come up with 359,274. Actually, no, that's incorrect. Because you're projecting your ending fund balance on your amended budget to be 310, not 332. So that number would be 337,408.
$337,408
Yeah.
in the fund balance.
Let me see, major streets is right. Major street revenue is correct. Expenditures are correct, net income is correct. And hopefully the other one is still correct.
You said we use water?
Yeah, just on the water on page 10, it says total expenditures of 264,210. Is that what the budget is? But it's typed out as 265,710. So
Yeah, no, it should be what's on the budget. Like I said,
okay.
I just forgot, you know,
Okay. So this is what
I'm
we're.
73 years old, and mine doesn't work as good as it used to.
So is Major Streets corrected?
Yeah, major streets is correct.
Streets are correct.
We didn't make any changes to major local streets. I think we made some changes to water and sewer.
So it looks like the expenditures for water should be 264,210, the net income would be 9,020, is that, am I doing that right?
It's a $1,500 difference, so
I'm looking at that.
I'm working on the calculator. 920.
And the fund balance, would that also change by 1,500 mark?
Yeah, yeah, we changed the water bonds and lowered the bond payable from your one you got before.
So it's
I
5.
wasn't aware of this schedule that I have that shows what your principal payments are every year.
So is that final number 595,987?
Yes.
Okay.
What was it, 595?
987. Okay.
I did not personally verify, so somebody else has. Compared those two budget to the
I looked at the
appropriations.
expenditures and they were, I did check it out.
Okay.
Yes.
The revenue should be
I don't know what
right.
revenues are.
Might want to double check it, because we didn't change any revenue estimates.
So we need to make additional changes to the, what do we call this?
General appropriation?
General Appropriations Act.
To make the ending balance for the
So I will make a motion under general fund to change expenditures to $430,638, to change net income to to $26,541 and to change fund balance to $337,408. Is that all correct, Mark? Is that what you-
What was the expenditures again?
$430,638.
I'll give you those. Okay, it would be 337.
Second, or?
By line
I was
numbers.
gonna do one by one.
Oh,
Never mind, I'll go
Oh,
on.
just
In
do the-
water, change water expenditures to 264,210. And change water net income to 9,020. Change the fund balance for water to 595,987.
That's, I don't believe that's right. Because your net income should go up if your expenditures went down, so let me double check that.
Nope, you're correct. Thank you.
so goes the other way.
Whoever used the calculator.
I think it
No,
went down, right?
Here,
Your income should go up if your expenditures, your net
I
income.
went backwards, thank you.
so did I. That's why we're not sure.
Yeah, thank you. 11,020. $12,020. So what you get, Mark, is 12,020?
Yeah, that's what it is.
And then what would the fund balance, 75,988, 987?
Let me double check that. Yes.
Okay, my motion for the first line stands. I'm going to repeat the water line. To change the expenditures on the water line to 264,210. Change the net income of water to 12,020, and to change the fund balance for water to 598,987.
987?
Yes. Is that what, second check on that?
Does that sound right, Mark?
All right, I'll second that.
Motion made by Bob, supported by Julie to amend the numbers on the General Appropriations Act. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, approval of appropriation of the 2025-2026 audit.
When do we need to make a decision on this?
I just got the email.
You mean that's what we're using?
That's, yeah, this is who we've been using.
We've used them for years.
What's the? What's the email?
It's this one here that says.
I haven't had a chance to read it, I just got it tonight.
Oh, it just gives the, it's like 10 pages.
It's an e-signature document they sent me, so I wanted to give it to everybody.
Do they have a due by date, they need a response?
Well, the earlier you guys approve it, if that's what you want to go with, the better it is, because they can't send me a list of what they're gonna need until you guys approve.
I've said this before. Barring some emergency, I will not vote yes for anything, particularly a two-page document that's put before me at the meeting. I'm not gonna I'm not going to approve spending this village money on a 10-page contract. I mean, yeah, the attorney wouldn't make a call on a word on the spot, and we're all asked to make a.
Well, they have been your auditors for the last.
I'm very confident that they're probably who I would vote for.
And
However, I don't know what
it's
this
been
document
my
says.
experience, because I've worked for other local governments and county governments and state governments, things like that. When you change auditors, your expenses greatly increase the first year because they don't have the history or the background, so.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they've done a fantastic job for us.
We just wanted ahead of time to review.
Yeah, no, I understand that. Just letting you know
Yeah.
that, you know, hopefully you can get what you need so you can make a decision, because that's gonna make life easier for me, and it's also gonna make life easier for the auditors, which in turn should save you some money next year on your audit bill.
I suggest we table this until the regular meeting on April.
Six.
November.
Do we want to look into other companies?
No.
I went
No interest.
17,500 this year. I think it was 16,500 last year.
Did he, I can't remember the man's name who came and sat here and.
Brian
Brian.
Haig.
Yeah, I mean, did he charge us for that?
No, they don't charge you for that.
I think that's part of their charge.
Right, so I mean, we've gotten fantastic service out of them, and I have no reservations with them. I'm just not gonna, I'm not gonna go through enter a contract that I haven't read.
Yeah, we can table it till next time.
All right, water sewer service agreements.
Same position.
Yeah, I've done the same thing, just get it. Let's go get these before now.
April.
Who wrote this up?
I think this was our original one, right? And we sent it to Ethan. Water sewer agreements.
All of these were given to us by her. She crafted them, she reviewed them, she put them together.
The attorney.
If she reviewed them, so if we wrote it up for her to review.
She kind of created the whole thing, right? Because we sent her our original one, the one we had at 10. And then she came up with this. So I don't know if she took chunks of it from the original one. I have no idea who wrote up the original one.
So we all review these items and we're ready to act on the next meeting.
If they're both the same, how is that, it's not incompatible? Because I thought we talked about maybe Tony doing it and then you being like help.
Are we talking about the employment agreements?
Yes.
Or are we talking about sewer and water?
Well, they're-
That's what they are, they're both sewer.
Okay, well, the employment agreement, the only question I had about this was, it's a flat rate of $750 per month, which shall be included in the first pay period of each month. So that, does that mean it starts after you've worked a month? We don't prepay, right? Just want to make sure I'm reading it correctly. So you work in February, you get paid first week in March. We don't pay you the first week of March, then you do all the work, right?
It wasn't how we've been doing it.
Well, that was how the guy,
Yeah, that was-
only take
that was the way it was.
prepaid. So we paid him the month before he did the work, so he was prepaid.
contracted labor agreement.
Because it's a 30, it's probably because it's a 30-day agreement.
I'm just wondering if they're both the same, though that wasn't what we had discussed being conflict of maybe compatible offices.
Should have had the attorney stay.
So that's my concern.
So, I guess same kind of scenario, then do we just wait for the meeting in?
I guess get me any questions you have, and we'll try to answer them before April.
Okay.
Yeah, questions are good, but suggestions are better. So if I have an issue with this, I think we should change it to that. Would be
Change it to what?
what, I'm saying, give a suggestion of what you think would be better than what we have as opposed to, this is broke, how can we fix it? I'm suggesting all do is we look at these things. that we-
Yeah, I mean, my suggestion is that you pay first, when you're employed, you work first, then you get paid. With a service agreement or with a contract, you would probably do that differently, but since it's an employment agreement, I think it should be changed that you would get paid, you work in April, so you get paid the first week of May for April's work.
Yeah,
Because you're not chasing money back. You know what I mean?
if you have a business where the business has a bunch of employees, that the business is gonna just make it happen, yeah.
Because I would love to be.
Yeah, maybe.
I just have a hard time because she knows you're the president, so she's gonna put you in here. She knows about all this, because we went through this, what, a year or two ago with the incompatible office situation?
No, I think it's, okay, we can look at that. I think it's good that they have office.
Okay.
The stuff we talked about, is we the president can do other things.
The population's under $40,000, 40,000 people.
Okay.
All right, any other discussion on that? If not, councilmember comments?
Thank you, Mark.
You're welcome. Doing my
We
job.
appreciate you.
Yes, this, the format of these, sorry. The format of this budget was much more digestible, I think, than what we've seen in the past, so I really like it. It's very improved. I thank you all for being here. I can't imagine, I haven't seen hardly anybody leave at this long drawn out meeting. I didn't think for a minute that 2/3 of you would still be here, let alone virtually everybody.
It's good drama, it's better
Yes,
than what's on
absolutely.
TV.
Thank you. If you're this committed to the village, remember, get your 6 signatures to file your petition to be on the ballot. We need you. Are we still working on a clock and timer for public comments?
Oh, yes.
Okay, I see.
So that you're.
Cool. I was envisioning a bigger one that, like, you can see, but that's fine, that works. Beautiful. No,
We're still on council member comments. We haven't gone
I'm a
to.
council member.
I know, we haven't gone to.
She's saying she's not
public
timing the
comment.
3 minutes.
Right. So I was just asking if we have it or if we were working on
Yeah.
it. Now I see we have it, and I thank you for that.
You're welcome.
I just didn't see it. And you told me that the office phone was broken, so thank you. It seems like I was going to ask or say something different, but again, thank you all very much for being here tonight. Oh, I do have one other thing to say. Related to the personal attacks fact, for those of you, and I see a new number of familiar faces who are coming to township meetings, which is true for our village meetings as well. The attorney, part of their job is not to tell the public what actually happened. The attorney's job is to keep the village and the township, respectively, out of legal trouble. So when our attorney, if I say something, and maybe it wasn't the best way to say it, it's the responsibility of the village attorney to frame that in the best possible way to keep the village out of legal trouble. Same is true of the township. So just because an attorney says something is factual, that might be the best way they can frame a fact. Not accusing anybody of lying, I'm saying we frame facts in the best possible light. So just take that with a grain of salt as you hear people speaking. Thank you.
Any other council comments?
I just like to thank the three members of the commission for your patience and working this out. I have no doubt that we've got the three best people for the job.
Any other council member comments? Audience comments? Go ahead. Oh, yeah, we need your name and then.
Okay, let me clarify. When did the budget for the approval Lawton come in, or when did that come in?
The approval Lawton thing, I think I got it today.
Okay, and when did the water sewer stuff pop in?
When did she send that?
This week, one day this week,
Okay. And is our trustee board here, are they getting that as soon as it shows up?
No.
Okay, that was my point. And then the other thing I'd like to say is just I've seen the members of our disincorporation board at the different meetings. I appreciate them, and I hope that you choose, as Julie talked about, that we just keep our stuff. I think our people are fine. We don't have a problem with things. The problem is with the township, and they can just suck it.
Any other audience comments? Go ahead.
So you said something about like the minutes aren't here from the last meeting. Is there a reason for that?
typically minutes are approved at the regularly scheduled council meeting, and that's April 5th.
Okay.
But also, I sent all the minutes to all the council, and I'm waiting for them to respond whether they need any changes or want anything fixed.
Got it.
Bob already reviewed them, and then after Bob reviewed them and I fixed them from Bob's changes, then I send them to everyone else.
Got it. So the clock uptown still doesn't work. Is there a possibility that we could just change that face, an artist or somebody, I mean, it'd be better to invest a little bit of money, to just put a welcome in that face of that clock and omit the clock arms and numbers and all that, since we're having so much problem with it.
I was probably planning on fixing it.
Went by. Get a hold of like Bowden Electric or something like that.
Well, the clock company, when we got close to fix it, it was close to $10,000. And then I put the part in the bottom and it was $1,500. So it's way cheaper to do it ourselves. I just don't have time to do it.
So you haven't even put the part in?
Yeah, the bottom, the clock in the bottom, that's why it worked for a while. There's a clock in the bottom that's digital that controls
Yeah.
the little electric motor up top. The little electric motor apparently went bad after changing the bottom.
Oh, okay.
That's why it worked for a short amount of time.
Right. All right. And, so if, let's just say the board did decide to say, let's just go backwards and we're just gonna do away with this thing, this corporate thing, and go back to, let's just put it on the ballot. So could the village get together and have all their people or whoever, whatever, get together and just come up with the things, like, okay, this is what the taxes would be if we went ahead and did this. Now, could they speak within themselves and make this, to present to the village people? Is it?
I'd say that's an attorney question.
I tried to ask her, you wouldn't let me.
I'll ask her for you.
Thank you.
Any other audience comments? Go ahead.
Doug Masinger, lifelong Baroda Village resident, and I too don't listen to Facebook and everything else. So I found out about the disincorporation about a month ago. in the newspaper, Harold Williams, one of the few that still read that. And I appreciate all of you guys' effort. But as I sit here tonight in a meeting that I haven't been to in a long time, I too sat on that side of the table of the planning commission and the zoning board as a village resident. But I see this, and I don't see this ending well for anybody. Do we really have the money, because you guys, as the village council, are supposed to be stewards of our money, spend it wisely? Do you really truly think that is gonna be spent wisely? Because you can already see by the comments tonight, this is the first meeting I've been here, that they don't wanna play ball. And with this administration that's at the township right now, if they don't wanna play, take their ball and go home. And here we are sitting holding the bag, and if you think that this other infrastructure with the industrial site and everything that we still owe money on, who's gonna absorb those costs? I was never asked to sign a petition, nor was my wife. So I was shocked when I read that in the paper. How does that, do you think it's not gonna cost us? I don't wanna pay any more tax money than anybody else, but you don't think it's gonna not cost us more money? Because once the township takes you in, they're not gonna eat it all.
No.
They got water, so yeah. So
You're kidding me.
Yeah, exactly.
You really think?
Yeah.
Oh, boy. You're a smart one, aren't you?
Yeah, so.
You won't, but-
For any. So I just think you guys need to be good stewards of their money. Enough said, thank you. I'm out. Go ahead.
Cindy Shepherd, just want to make a comment on that, Doug. Not all of the township board doesn't want to work with you guys, only a couple do not. Not everyone on the township board does not want to play with you guys, only a couple does not.
Okay.
So some of them are in favor of doing this committee to find out the ins and outs of what's going on.
So, yeah, so if it's gonna cost you more money,
Supposedly it's not supposed to cost the township, and the township doesn't want, yeah, I agree, yeah, right. But the township doesn't want the village to pay either, they don't.
No, I
Nobody
understand,
does.
I see both sides, but I'm just saying, how, do you think, and I appreciate these guys plowing my street, because I live on Placid Drive at 5:30 in the morning. Do I think my street is gonna get plowed out at 5:30 in the morning?
No.
Nobody county's gonna do it, you're gonna be the last subdivision in the day that's gonna get plowed out. You're gonna get your streets. We got a water leak on the end of my street right now.
All right, next
way, but that's fine.
Supposed to be audience comments to the council.
Yeah, but no, that's fine, I'm right next, it's in my yard, I was the one that called Grant uptown at 5:30 in the morning, he said we got water.
All right, and next audience comments?
I just have a question real quick. Heather Schmaltz, TJ's Baroda. The water and sewer bill, can you explain what happened?
Is Tony still here?
I heard.
I'll just heard
The water bill.
Oh, you put it on me, thanks.
I didn't know it was gonna be
Yeah,
on
we
the
read the
outside.
meters, technical difficulties, they didn't transfer into the computer right, so unfortunately, the reads went off the previous month. So, you off the budget, but the next month, you will get paid for 2 months' worth of usage. You won't get a credit because the way our water bills are set up is there's a minimum fee of, it's called an O&M charge. That's standard on every single monthly bill, whether you use water or not.
That must be the 47.
Yeah, that is the bare minimum that every single resident pays, and then per usage, you pay on top of that.
Okay.
So there's no credits or anything, but unfortunately, your bill is obviously gonna be higher, the next billing go around when we read
Oh,
them.
really? You're just-
It's gonna show two, right, it balances out, instead of paying, your balance over 2 months, you're gonna pay it in 1 month. So,
I was just curious.
yeah, unfortunately.
We didn't get one at all, so I could come in and Gloria printed one for me, and I was like, whoa, that's not even right.
Yeah, we had a technical difficulty.
Okay.
So, just to add, to go on with that comment, Tony, so when we put all those bills out, does anybody kind of take a look at them and say, yeah, these look pretty good, or we might be missing something?
In Gloria's defense, she's rather new, so we do have a system, and we worked it out now that we'll look at a consumption report pre-bills going out. Because BSNA prints us off a report that shows everybody's usage, and I generally like to look at that to see if there's anomalies in town. you know, to catch certain things, but unfortunately, the bills have gotten journalized before, so we worked it out to where this should not happen again. It hasn't ever happened, so it just came up, and unfortunately, it didn't get caught until bills had already been journalized.
And
But
I have always looked at all the bills before I mail them out. I don't just put a stamp on it and mail them out. I've looked at them.
Mine actually had it handwritten in there.
Next audience comment? Go ahead.
So continuation of my question from the first time section. Again, when do you expect to have the street fixed on Plastic Lane, Plastic Drive?
Oh, we'll have to get quotes on it.
we're working with ARC right now.
Yeah, ARC was supposed to come out Friday, it didn't show, I think it was Friday.
Yeah, Thursday or Friday. The weather probably, nobody wants to go check out the streets when it's.
But that's usually what happens, is you call 5 people and then nobody shows up, and then you have to call 5 more, and then they still don't show up, and.
But yeah.
Okay, so it's being worked on.
Yep.
And the other thing was, I didn't really see any address made on our streets being fixed. I know at one time, when I was on the council, we had looked at trying to fix one street at a time because of our limited budgets and stuff. We did that for a couple of years and then nothing happened. I know we got Pheasant Run done, which was a big job. We got grant money for that. So, and that was at the top of our list at the time. I was on the council, so that's good that we got that fixed. But I just want to know in the future if we've looked at continuing to fix our roads or not.
Yeah, that's part of the capital improvement plan. I think Bumper said they used to call it the 5-year plan for roads, if I remember right, back when you were on. Because I haven't heard anything about that in a long time, I was gonna look into that.
And then the last thing, let's just come up, enforcement officer. I see that the township did an enforcement officer several months ago. I was at one of the meetings and they hired somebody to do the township area. We haven't had one in several years that I'm aware of. Are we planning on having one or?
Yeah, we have one, his name's Ryan.
Okay, because I didn't see money for him in here.
Yeah, it's in there, under,
$1,000.
I asked that one,
Yeah.
yeah, that was the one I asked.
Because I was thinking that was a misprint because under mileage, right under him, there's $1,000 estimate in there. There's nothing under enforcement officer, although it shows up on Ryan's side. So I was confused there about it. So is Ryan out looking at property standards?
we have, he follows our policy, there's a policy on however it goes, like someone reports something and then some report's filed, and I don't know the process, you have to ask him. But his card's up there with his name. Next audience comment?
On the enforcement officer piece, has he been out to the house at the corner of Church and Fourth? Because there have been reports of chickens, and there are not supposed to be any livestock per the ordinance of the village.
Yeah, the neighbor came in and asked about that, and he took his card and said he was gonna give him a buzz. That was the last I heard on it.
Okay.
Next audience comment?
I'll just give you a quick comment on Barker, because I know the family, in order to, they're in the process of moving from Gotham around Source Parkway. They're trying to move equipment this week, so.
I saw their address change.
Yeah, they built a new building out Source Parkway, so probably gonna be a struggle to get them from that.
Oh, we'll keep bugging them.
Yeah.
Any other audience comments? Meeting adjourned. Thanks for coming, everybody.
It's